Welcome to today's show, guys. They are spending money like it's nothing. The House has passed a nearly new spending bill, including a $1 trillion defense budget, adding to the U.S. debt of $36 trillion. On top of that, we also have it where the House bill passes another bill that would give Trump more federal judge appointments. Remember, this is huge. When it comes to the amount of federal judges that are out there, it matters that Trump wants to have more conservative members out there that are, dictating the laws. Because when it comes to the judges, they pretty much do. I mean, they follow the law, but they kind of do their own thing too as well. But with this breaking news, House Speaker Mike Johnson is saying that they had to pass this spending bill. They had to spend another $1 trillion on the defense, even though he said that the Pentagon and the defense has failed 7 out of 7 years, the past 7 years, on the audits. You literally can't make this stuff up. We also have new evidence that was uncovered today. 26 undercover FBI agents were at the Capitol on January 6th during the protests. They have long since denied that there was any FBI agents. But now we have the truth, and we actually do have evidence and video evidence. And they were there escalating the protests and telling people to go inside the Capitol. So with this, there is about 1,500 protesters that were there at the Jan 6 that were prosecuted with felony charges. And because of this new news, Trump has now stated from his own words that he is going to pardon these protesters in the first 9 minutes of his presidency. Also, Biden wanted to go ahead and do some pardons as well. Biden has pardoned over 1,500 new people today. Including, we have a couple of Chinese spies. There was a person that was caught in possession of inappropriate child images. And now he's telling his staffers, and we have the evidence, go and spend as much money as possible before Trump becomes president. They've also uncovered that the Doge has uncovered that the Biden administration spent $1 billion on DEI initiatives to promote their woke agenda. We also have an updated info on the mothership of the Iranian drones that they've been suspected in New Jersey, circling New Jersey near Trump's estate. So with this, some of these drones are very big. There's some of them are as big as they're as big as mini school buses. And yet the FBI, the Biden administration are all denying that they know anything about these drones, which we all know is a big bunch of you know what. But thanks to whistleblowers, we do have leaked news today. Just want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can serve you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button, guys. It really does help to grow the channel, and it's free. And thank you to all of our members of the channel. Y'all are so amazing, killing it in the chat already. If you want to join the TrueLife News fam, the link is in the description to join. And thank you to everybody that gives a super chat donation. We're so grateful for your support and what this channel is doing. I'm so excited, guys. But we're going to jump on into this because this is getting nuts. You cannot make this up. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. Check this out.
Al, how you doing, Speaker?
Listen, I'm feeling a lot of that joy ever since Election Day. I think she's right. I felt joy. I even felt joy this evening watching the opening of your show.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, it's the Christmas season. We're here to spread joy. And in fact, exactly. It does feel a little bit like those little toy trains that you put around the track on Christmas morning for your little boy. This Trump train feels a little unstoppable. And do you get the sense of inevitability here?
Well, it's pretty close to inevitable. I just did a newsletter at Gingrich 360 saying that he is the first de facto president in American history. If you watched him in Paris, he was received with all the honors of a full president. There were 82 heads of state there. He had key meetings with the president of Ukraine, the president of France, the prime minister of Italy. It's as though Biden is just kind of gone. Now, legally, Biden is still president, but factually, Trump's now the dominant political leader in the United States and, frankly, in the world.
You know, FBI directors always serve, was it 10-year terms? Have you ever
your
seen
term.
an FBI director just bail out because he could see what's coming?
Look, I give Senator Chuck Grassley some credit there. He wrote a blistering, as chairman of the Judiciary, blistering 12-page letter.
You're right.
Outlining everything that Ray had done wrong. I think when Ray's sitting at his desk reading that, he's going, I think I'll leave now. Which I think, frankly, is going to make it a little bit easier for Trump's nominee to head up the FBI.
Fetterman has surprised me, and I said a lot of nasty things about him because I didn't think he could talk. I couldn't think he could comprehend anything, and he's totally turned it around. He's on Truth Social. He's saying the Biden Justice Department's been weaponized. Do you see people following his lead on the Democratic Party side?
I think there are more and more. There was a Democratic congressman today who said that he thought he could work with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, particularly on the Defense Department's waste. So I think what you're seeing is sort of the breaking down of the Democratic liberalism. I have to say I agree with you. Fetterman has been a great surprise to me. He has been very, very moderate, very reasonable on Israel and on other issues, on the whole weaponization question. He's actually been quite an important and unique figure, sort of replacing Manchin as the real maverick in the Senate.
Yeah, he's Manchin with a sweatshirt. And we like what we see out of my guy.
And a hoodie.
And a hoodie in Pennsylvania. So this invitation to Xi Jinping came out of nowhere. I thought it was fake. I guess it's real. Do you see kind of this as an act of dominance by Donald Trump? Watch me and all my pageantry?
Look, I think Trump believes in constant offense, constant momentum, keeping things going forward. I think he gets every day and tries to figure out, let's go to McDonald's or let's go to the garbage truck or whatever it takes. But he wants to be on offense. I suspect he woke up, looked around and thought, I think my good friend Xi Jinping, heck, we haven't been together in a long time. Why don't I have, you remember, he had Xi Jinping to Mar-a-Lago for his first real dinner with him back in 2017. So I think it's a tremendous move. And I think there's a 50-50 chance that Xi Jinping is going to show up, which you have to admit, in terms of sending a signal to the planet, would be pretty unbelievable.
But what signal would that send? Because I could see the Democrats going berserk over it. I mean, anyone he invites, they're going to go nuts over. But how do you think the reaction is going to be to that?
Oh, I think we'd all be confused. I think, look, we understand that China is our greatest competitor, that China is a very real threat, and that they do a lot of things that are cheating. We all understand that. But I frankly doubt if he'll come, but if he does come, the physical image for the whole planet of the Chinese and American leaders side by side on the day of the inauguration would be a signal of such power, centralized in Washington with the Capitol, and Clifton and I will be there, and it'll be an extraordinary moment. I mean, it was going to be anyway. This would make it really remarkable. So I kind of hope he comes.
All right, maybe I'll see you at the balls.
Guys, I'm telling you, Trump is pulling some big moves, but right now we've got it. This updated news that the House passes another $1 trillion spending bill, adding to the U.S. debt of $36 trillion. On top of that, they passed a bill that they say under Biden's veto threat that would give Trump more federal judge appointments. Remember, the more federal judges you have, the more likelier you to have a conservative movement in the economy because businesses are always taking things to the courts. Then we have this where we showed you earlier. Guys, there's a lot of things being uncovered right now. This whole Iranian drone thing, the FBI, so the DOJ IG reveals that number of FBI confidential sources were on the ground during January 6th. 26 FBI agents were on the ground instigating, escalating the January 6th protest. This has been leaked out today. This is insane. And I'm about to show you the video, but this is getting crazy. On top of that, we have it leaked out that the White House tells staff to spend as much money as possible ahead of Trump's presidency. I'm blown out of my mind. We're $36 trillion in debt, and instead of conservation, all they're thinking about is spend. We got to get these people out of office and get the right people into office. But I want to show you this because, again, too, New stuff is being leaked out every single day. And a lot of this stuff, you would think, wow, what the heck is going on? Check this out.
So, as we ignore these people and they try to cancel us, I told you we were going to tune them out. But because they can't give up canceling each other and making people look stupid, because that's what liberalism is, it's a hierarchy and trying to subjugate people, that they're eventually going to cannibalize and eat each other as they try to seek power and authority in beating up people, politically and otherwise. You get what I'm talking about? Here you see in action. Tell me here, this isn't famed neurosurgeon Dr. Jill Biden, one of the legendary medical doctors anywhere on earth, Dr. Jill Biden. Tell me she's not throwing shade at Kamala Harris here with this clip. This is the cannibalism theory in action. This just happened. Check this out.
Oh, I hope that you all feel that sense of, peace and light, and that just for a moment when you leave here today that you feel, a sense of joy. Because I think we all need we all need to feel joy now during this time of the season, during this time. So anyway, okay, now I'll start. You're all reading into that.
Oh, no, they're not reading into it. They didn't need to read into it. It read all itself, by itself. There was no reading into it necessary. Someone in the chat just brought up Uncle Brozy. I had totally forgotten about Uncle Brozy and the cannibals eating Uncle Brozy. I forgot that, the Uncle Brozy clip. I just wanted to throw it out there because our batting average, Justin, is what? 1,000 kids. That is correct. I told you they were going to start eating themselves alive. And it's little things like this. This is how, do you think she wasn't taking a shot at Kamala Harris's Ren and Stimpy Happy, Happy, Joy, Joy campaign? Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. We always give Stimson J. Cat a shout out, but we leave Ren out of it. There's Ren Hort. There you go. Say hello, fellas. Happy, happy, joy, joy, joy. There you go. I'll leave them up until we play this video here. So we had some breaking news on a radio show yesterday. If you missed any of the show, Congressman Jeff Van Drew, it is growing UFO, UAP drone scandal in New Jersey. And folks, I get it. Everybody's got an opinion. For the listeners out there who seem upset at me for having an opinion on the matter, you're entitled to yours too. I'm not upset at you. This is not symmetric. You're upset at me. I'm not upset at you. If you have a different opinion, that's fine. That's perfectly okay. However, it's the Dan Bongino show. I'm going to give you my opinion based on what I believe are a series of facts and data points. I believe it is some foreign adversary doing this. If it's not in New Jersey, it's elsewhere. We know about the China spy balloon, fact. We know about key sources telling us about China buying land around U.S. military facilities, fact. What the hell do you think they're doing this for? They're doing it to surveil the United States in case there's some kind of a world war. So they have an idea of what our critical infrastructure looks like. This isn't hard. You can have whatever theory you want. I'm just telling you, Occam's razor, this is something foreign, not something necessarily exotic, and they know there's nothing we're going to do about it. So, is it Iran? Is there a ship offshore? I don't know. I tend to lean more towards China. Iran's got its own issues right now. But here was Congressman Van Drew from New Jersey on my show yesterday, and he's sticking by this story. So, check this out, and you can make your own decision. Take a listen. So, where do we stand with this? Are you getting any answers? I mean, you're a sitting congressman. Are they giving you the runaround, too?
So here's the deal. Yes, they're giving everybody the runaround. So
wow.
You're correct. It is scary at any level because if they know what's going on and they are...
Sorry to interrupt everybody, but remember, some of these drones are the size of minibuses. They could be carrying bombs. They could be carrying weapons. We don't know. So that's why everybody's freaking out, and the FBI, nobody will give any answers.
Fighting it, that's wrong. If they don't know what's going on and they are at that level of incompetence, which is very possible, that is terrible and that is frightening as well. Here's what I know. I know that there are no commercial enterprises within the continental United States that have this capability that we know of. There are no hobbyists that have this capability that we know of. We can't imagine that the U.S. government would be flying all these drones, some of them that are the size of minibuses, in the air that we know of. We can't imagine the U.S. government would do that and scare its people. What I do know is that I've been contacted because I'm the vice chair of the Transportation Committee, and I sit on the committee the aviation subcommittee that deals with all this, that deals with drones, and that I have been contacted by well-placed, high-level sources with high security clearances that do not want to, tell who they are. Understandably so. They're concerned, but they're also concerned that this isn't coming out, that in the port of Iran, that one of their motherships had left weeks ago. We do know that. And we know for sure that Iran does have these capabilities through China because they're dealing with them. These high-level sources that I have believe that there's a very real, significant possibility that there is an Iranian mothership out there and that it is releasing these high-level, sophisticated drones.
Wow.
Now, Marley B. 1947 says in the chat, it's their job to know. Marley B. 1947, thank you. That's the point. Is it Iran? I don't know. Is it a mothership offshore? I have no idea. My sources haven't told me that at all. I'm basing it on simple evidence that I think it's a foreign actor because a foreign actor's done this before.
Wow.
That's it. The spy balloon, China. We know the story. Who's buying land around military facilities? China. What do you think they're buying land for? Because they want to be sharecroppers? They're buying land because they're surveilling the United States in case they got to go to war with us.
This is so dumb.
When in doubt, always pick the explanation that requires you to assume the least, not the most. You're free to have your own opinion on it. Now, you know my rule with the left, right? When the left comes out and has a visceral, immediate reaction, along with their deep state media allies to something, an immediate reaction to something, what does it tell you? Always, how many times I got to say this? Bongino Army, represent. Fire it up in the chat. Always measure the effectiveness of an appointee, a bill, a message by the ferocity of the response on the other side. Immediately after this, a press conference gets called at the Pentagon, not after my show. He had said that before, Congressman Van Drew. The Pentagon calls a press conference, and there's this question from Catherine Herridge, who we know is kind of, not Catherine Herridge, I'm sorry. Catherine Herridge, a great reporter. What's the other, whatever it is, Griffin. And she's totally in there with the Pentagon people. It's like, this is, to me, just seems like an obvious setup, this whole thing. I want you to listen to them, feverishly deny this. But they just told us from the White House hours before this, they don't know what they are. So they don't know what they are, but they know it's not that. Can someone explain? Now I'm sure it's a foreign adversary. Check this out.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
Folks, I don't understand something. Someone in the chat, please explain this to me. Explain it to me like I'm still wearing diapers. Pretend I'm really stupid for a second, please. The White House, state police in New Jersey, the governor, local mayors, local cops, nobody has an answer about what this is. No one. All they can tell you is we don't know. So if you don't know, how can you draw a conclusion that it's not Iran? How do you draw a conclusion that it's not a danger? How? I don't understand if you don't know. Now, you may say, well, they can prove it because we have no evidence that there's an Iranian ship offshore. You don't?
Guys, they literally said, we don't know what it is, we don't know where it came from, then how can you definitively say that it's not a mothership? It's all, I'm telling you guys, there is a scandal, a cover-up that's happening right now, right under our eyes, and it's all having to do with these Iranian drones. But I wanted to show you this. So the Biden Education Department spent over $1 billion on DEI grants. Guys, diversity, equity, inclusion, basically wokeness. The $1 billion on grants advancing diversity, equity, inclusion, on hiring, programming, and mental health training in America's schools since 2021. Are you kidding me? $1 billion. Then we have it where Biden has just pardoned 1,500 people. Commutes their 1,500 sentences. So basically, they don't have to serve the rest of their sentences. He issues 39 pardons in the largest single-day grant of clemency ever. This dude just let out some Chinese spies. He let out a person who was caught with inappropriate child images. I mean, this stuff, look at this. Look at this stuff, guys. You can't make this stuff up. Big Dog, let's go. Where you been, brother? Appreciate you, man. Miss you guys. Hopefully all is well with everybody still out east. Hopefully I'll be back next week. Love you guys. Keep supporting this channel. It's doing great. Thanks, Joel. Love you, brother. Keep it going. Love you, Big Dog. Y'all show Big Dog some love in the chat. Let's go. So, and then, guys, to wrap it in such a pretty bow, all the FBI has, Christopher Wray resigns, and guess what leaks into the press? Oh, the FBI was at the January 6th protest. Oh, they were instigating and escalating the issues.
This is a pretty big piece of news to kick off the show today, Sandra. I'm John Roberts in Washington. The report reveals that there were a total of 26 confidential human sources in the crowd that day.
David Spunt is live from the Justice Department. He has got the news for us. David.
Sandra, 3 of those were authorized and tasked by the FBI to be there on January 6, 2021. We're coming up on 4 years since that day of the Capitol riot. This IG report specifically focuses on the FBI's handling of confidential human sources, or as we know them, FBI informants. For years, the outgoing FBI director, Chris Wray, has been pressed on reports of undercover agents. According to this new report, there were no undercover FBI agents. However, there were 3 confidential human sources tasked by the Bureau to be in the crowd on January 6th to specifically watch what the report states is concerns over domestic terrorism. Out of those 3, Sandra and John, 1 entered the Capitol, 2 others entered a restricted area. The report says the FBI did not encourage or authorize any sources to go into the building or a...
Hey guys, if you got a free membership to TrueLife, y'all show Big Dog some love in the chat. Let's go.
Restricted area. In addition to the 3 confidential human sources, the FBI told there were 23 that were there on their own. Now, they had worked with the FBI in the past on other cases, but not specifically on the January 6th rally. Some of them entered a restricted area as well. And what stands out in this report, John and Sandra, none of the confidential human sources that entered the U.S. Capitol or a restricted area were prosecuted by the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office. Remember, this is an office that is still arresting nearly 4 years later and prosecuting people with this case. Now, in a response to the Inspector General, the D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office says the following. The D.C. U.S. Attorney's Office generally has not charged those individuals whose only crime on January 6, 2021 was to enter the restricted grounds surrounding the Capitol, which has resulted in the office declining to charge hundreds of individuals, and we have treated the confidential human sources as consistent with this approach. Outgoing FBI Director Christopher Wray, who announced that he would be stepping down in the next few weeks yesterday, has been pressed on the FBI's role on January 6. Here's just one clip from last year.
If you are asking whether the violence at the Capitol on January 6th was part of some operation orchestrated by FBI sources and or agents, the answer is emphatically
You're saying
not.
no?
No.
You're saying no?
Not
Okay.
violence orchestrated by FBI sources or agents.
Confidential human sources tasked by the FBI are not undercover agents. These are people that belong to groups like, for instance, the Proud Boys, the Oath Keepers, and then became paid FBI informants at certain points in time while still being members of their groups. And of course, John and Sandra, others are not part of any group and just decided to show up to the Capitol for whatever reason and still work with the FBI on the side and provide information. And we're, of course, waiting for more information from Capitol Hill to see if the White House has anything, the Department of Justice, the FBI, as this report just breaking now with the Inspector General.
Guys, again, the Inspector General, like, it's blowing up X. That they denied that there was anybody there at the Capitol. And now we have leaked whistleblower information that there was 26 FBI undercover agents there. You can't make this up. We're literally like living in the twilight zone of how many times they like literally, look, I'm going to pull it over right now. You can't make this up. Every single new post is over this right here. Breaking, the IG report found 26 FBI assets in the January 6th crowd. It is blowing up. They lied to the American people. They lied under oath. They all need to be held accountable. And again, too, I got to show our boy Scott Jennings, because what he says right here, this is 100% the truth through and through. And guys, y'all show Big Dog some love. He's growing this True Life News family. Appreciate you, Big Dog, big time. Let's go. Sorry the Cowboys ain't doing so good, but we appreciate your support. We'll do good here on the channel. Check this out.
And just talk to us about what sort of impact the president-elect has had on the shape of U.S. politics this year alone.
Well, first of all, it's the greatest comeback story in American political history. I mean, when you think about all the things you just listed that he survived, from the political stuff to the lawfare to the assassination attempts to the Democrats changing out their campaign, when you think about all the unprecedented stuff that he had to survive in order to come back from losing in 2020 to winning not just the Electoral College, but the popular vote in 2024. There's never been anything like it. One of the superpowers of Donald Trump is that he's the breaker of narratives. And there were always narratives around him that he could never win the election, that the case in New York was going to bring him down, that, you know, this or that was going to be the thing that finally brought down Donald Trump, or that Kamala Harris was the greatest presidential candidate we've ever seen, and so on and so forth. Trump is the breaker of narratives, and I think he exposed really the political information distribution complex in this election for what it is, which is often a distributor of narratives and not facts. And a lot of people came out and supported Donald Trump because they felt like they were being lied to by the current administration. They had a real mistrust of the policies that had been instituted. They were upset about the economy. The border was, and I think he's right, the border was really on people's minds for all of the societal impacts of that. And he broke all of the narratives around it that was coming out of the media and coming out of the Democrats, and won this huge victory. I think it's earth-shattering what he did, not just for politics, but the way we as Americans receive and process our political information. He kind of bypassed, in some ways, the mainstream media and went right to these alternative media sources, and it turns out his entire strategy around that was correct.
Guys, I love it. The greatest comeback in political history ever. Big Dog, another 10 True Life News memberships gifted. Y'all show Big Dog some love. Killing it today in the chat. I love seeing all the green. Let's go, guys. It's a great day. This is the season of giving. Big Dog's doing some giving. Y'all show him some love. So this is breaking news, guys. Donald Trump on pardons for January 6th prisoners. We're going to do it very quickly. It's going to start in the first hour. I'm telling you. We're going to be streaming whenever he gets inaugurated. We're going to stream, like, it's probably going to be a long whenever we did the November 5th election, it was the longest stream ever on the channel. We did almost 8 hours, everybody. My eyes were killing me. I could barely keep them open. We're probably going to do another long stream like that on Inauguration Day, just because we want to make sure that you see everything as it's happening 100%. Big Dog, let's go. Ice cream fun for the kids. Take them to get some ice cream. Saw the baby come in early in the week. Loved it. Those babies can come anytime and say hi. Let's go. Y'all show Big Dog some love in the chat. Oh, man, my 3-year-old, she love her some ice cream, guys. Y'all appreciate you, Big Dog. You the man. Let's go. All right, guys, check this news out, because I'm telling you, we got some good stuff happening today.
Watch out, ladies. Bill Clinton's on the loose. Slick Willie was on The View today. Hillary usually doesn't let Bill go into a room full of women by himself, but she made an exception if he could get her a pardon.
Do you think it would be wise of President Biden to preemptively pardon any potential targets? What about your wife, Hillary Clinton? She apparently is on Kash Patel's list.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, they got a problem with her because first, she didn't do anything wrong.
Of course.
Second, she followed the rules exactly as they were written. If President Biden wanted to talk to me about that, I would talk to him about it, but I don't think I should be giving public advice on the pardon power. I think it's a very personal thing.
Bill doesn't want Hillary pardoned. He wants her in prison so he can be free. Voters don't want a pardon palooza. A new poll shows only 20% back Hunter's pardon. But Democrats don't want to listen to voters. They want to talk about their own problems, like how the election was stolen 8 years ago.
It's important for everybody to just take a deep breath and say, unlike in 2016, there was no outside influence like the FBI director interfering at the last moment in violation of 70 years of policy. So anybody that says that he didn't give Trump the election, needs a...
Think about it again.
Yeah. But this time, Donald Trump won the race fair and square, I think.
Obama world doesn't like where the party's going. One of Barack's top speechwriters says, quote, the party should stop talking to itself and start hearing what voters have to say. Democrats don't listen to you because they think they're smarter. They have it all figured out. Everything that's worked in Western civilization, like borders, families, police, the English language, they know better.
They just believe that everything about every political system, every program we have, every institution we have is just worthless and we need to burn it all down. Okay. So that nihilistic nature, I think, leads to a lot of really bad ideas and terrible behavior online. Democrats need to wake up.
Ooh.
Because more and more voters feel like they're being abandoned by the Democratic Party.
If Democrats are down in the polls, they don't fix their policies. They stage a coup and pretend they're doing you a favor.
Given your role as he made that decision to step down and not to run again, how hard was it to watch what you saw in the debate at the end of June and to convey to the people you needed to convey it to?
Well, I know you're asking me how hard it was to do. It's even harder to answer this question. I did want to make sure that his legacy was protected. It wouldn't be protected with the election of you know who.
You see, Pelosi just whacked her oldest friend in D.C. because she was trying to protect him.
Wow.
That pretty much sums up the Democrat playbook. They hurt you and claim it's for your own good.
We love you.
Maybe this is why she keeps getting heckled.
There were so many other things I wanted to write about, the greatness of my members, their courage and the rest of that. And that remains for another book and some other issues. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So you.
Don't worry about that. I'm from San Francisco. I'm used to this.
We'll wait till the end of our conversation to do that.
See, they'll get what they want because all the press will say is that we got interrupted.
All right, so. All right.
Dang.
Charlie Hertz, a Fox News contributor. It looks like you on tour, Charlie.
I'm telling you what, she got heckled big time. And does she deserve it? Maybe so, because she's part of this crazy administration. I wanted to show you this, guys, because this is actually happening today. The Biden administration is racing to sell unused border wall materials instead of keeping them for Trump's use. You cannot make this up. Look at this. This is the border wall. Look at this border wall. estimates that there's I missed it. Half a mile worth of wall is being transported every single day. Silda Morales, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Say, keep it up. Let's go. Hey, lifting the weights. Y'all show Silda some love in the chat, everybody. So check this out. Every day they're selling about a half a mile, I think he said a half a mile of border wall. Look, they even have the website where they're selling it at, starting out at $5 a sheet for this huge metal. You cannot make this up, everybody. You can literally go sell this metal and make more money selling the metal to a scrapyard than what they're trying to sell it for. This administration is so corrupt. This is messed up at the highest level. Steel pillars are going for as low as $5. The Biden administration really hates this country. I agree. They really hate this country. Look at this, guys. This is so sad. In the final weeks of the Biden administration, truckloads of unused border wall materials are being hauled away from the Arizona border. It's being taken to a government auction site where bidding for an entire segment of wall starts at $5. This is taxpayer money. I bet you anything, one of those pieces of wall easily cost thousands and thousands of dollars, maybe even tens of thousands of dollars, because it's so much metal and it's so big. That's why we got to have an America First agenda, because that's just messed up. Biden should be held accountable for this crap that they're doing. It is 100% unacceptable, and they need to answer for it. But what I love is, guys, accountability is coming. Kash Patel said he is not holding back. Check this out.
Called a double standard. That's not equal justice or application of our laws. The FBI also demanded that the Steele dossier be included in the Intelligence Committee's assessment of Russian interference in the 2016 election, despite it being phony, fabricated, bought and paid for, Russian disinformation by the Hillary Clinton campaign. And then, of course, the Bureau called Catholics extremists and tried to cover it up. And this FBI has been weaponized. It has been politicized beyond what it should be. Hopefully, I say change is coming. Here with more, House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan. Charles Grassi laid him out 11 powerful pages. I read the whole thing. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, all that in addition to what you said, Sean. Remember, this is Chris Wray's FBI that censored Americans. The laptop story and American speech was involved in that. This is the FBI that said Americans' bank transactions, they spied on that without a warrant. This is the FBI that wrote a memorandum saying if you're a pro-life Catholic, you're an extremist. This is the FBI that investigated moms and dads at school board meetings, as you said, raided President Trump's home. And how about this? This week, the Inspector General releases a report that said Chris Wray's FBI, when he first took the job, spied on congressional staff. And guess who one of those staff members were that they spied on? Kash Patel, the guy who's going to take the job and get the FBI back on the right track, administering equal justice under the law like it's supposed to be in this great country.
All right, let me ask you this, because it seems like a monumental task. The DOJ has been weaponized. The FBI, our intelligence community, has been politicized. How, without doing to the left what they did to Donald Trump and other conservatives, how do you restore these agencies and that department to its former greatness? How do you do it?
Starts with leadership. And obviously, it starts with the President of the United States, and we've seen the kind of individuals President Trump's putting in these positions, representing the attitude that the American people voted for on Election Day when they said, go change these agencies, make them serve we the people, not be turned and weaponized against the very taxpayers they're supposed to serve. So Pam Bondi, Kash Patel running these organizations. We met yesterday with Todd Blanche. Here's a guy who I think is going to come in as the Deputy Attorney General and do a great job. It starts with leadership. The President of the United States, the Commander-in-Chief, the head of the executive branch, putting the right people in these agencies who have an attitude that says we are going to serve the American people, at the Justice Department, administer the law in an equal fashion, equal treatment under the law. It's all about leadership and having the right people in charge who are going to demand we do things according to the Constitution.
Don't we need to almost go back to square one? Because it's not just Kash Patel or Ratcliffe or Pam Bondi. it's also the 30, the 50 people below them that are hired. But more importantly, you know, what about rank and file people that were all too happy to go along with leadership and be involved in weaponization or be involved in the abuse of power?
Yeah. Again, you're right, that's important too, but I think the right attitude comes from the top. They're the person in charge, and maybe we need to relook at some of the mission here. The FBI's budget's like $11 billion a year, and more than 50% is spent on intelligence, counterintelligence, and domestic terrorism. I think most Americans think their FBI should be primarily focused on going after traditional bad guys, going after gangs and mob activity and money laundering and all that kind of stuff, when in fact it's not the case. And I understand they have a dual mission, but so much is on intel and domestic terrorism, and yet we have this situation you covered earlier in the show that we've been following the last few days in New Jersey, where no one from the FBI seems to be able to tell us anything about that, and that's part of their function. So maybe they should get back to their basic function and more resources there. I think that would maybe be good for the country as well.
Well, let me ask you about that little problem we have with drones flying all over New Jersey that are very sophisticated. The minute you get eyes on them, they go dark, according to Phil Murphy, the governor. But there's no evidence of a threat to public safety. Now, can you explain to me how it's possible? We have no idea where they came from. We have no idea if it is an adversary of our country. We have no idea why flying buses are all over the state of New Jersey. I don't know. Seems like a national security threat to me. And this all started November 18th. Today, my calendar's right. What is it, December the 11th?
Yeah. Yeah, 3.5 weeks later. Again, I have no idea why the FBI can't give us some answers. But understand, this is the same FBI. They can't tell us who planted the pipe bombs on January 6th. This same FBI can't tell us who leaked the Dobbs decision. And this is the same FBI can't tell us who put cocaine at the White House. So again, I don't know. Maybe if they were focused more on their fundamental mission, maybe things would be different. But the good news is, I think the guy who's President Trump has nominated is going to clean things up.
I hope you're right, but we do have known terrorists in the country. We have cartel members in the country. We have murderers, we have rapists, we have violent criminals in the country. And getting rid of them first, that is going to be a monumental task. Even though we know they're here, we don't know where they are. Finding them is going to be a hard job. Jim Jordan.
Guys, let me tell you this. I don't know, I've kind of lost faith in all of the FBI, in all this intelligence that we can know so much, but yet we can't know about these drones, which I just think they're lying to us. But check this out. President-elect Trump says he disagrees with Ukraine firing hundreds of U.S.-supplied missiles into Russia. He said, we're just escalating the war and making it worse. These are his words. He is trying to have ceasefire talks. Biden is trying to escalate the war, spending all of our taxpayer dollars. If there was a worse way for Biden to leave, I don't know what else it would be. Right now, we just showed you he's commuted 1,500 sentences. He's pardoned 39 people. This is the largest single-day grant of clemency ever. Huge. Thank you so much, Mr. Norby, for the super chat. Let's go. He says, well, our country had to change direction, tune in a huge way. Pelosi and her dim-witted Democrats has killed the American dream out from under our feet. You know where the kids need. As for my donation on site, love your brother, True Life News. Let's go. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat. Guys, y'all are killing it today. We are growing the True Life News fam. Guys, I'm so excited for what we're going to be doing for y'all and showing y'all in a couple of weeks with our donation online. Guys, but we now have news of where the mass deportations are going to start first. Put a guess. Put it in the chat. Where do you think first? We're about to hear it in the next 30 seconds. But I'm telling you, it's going to be big. There's going to be a lot of... I believe they're going to get the military involved. And this is going to be something we've never seen before. Check this out.
He's been the only Democrat that's willing to work with this administration as a mayor. Chicago resisting, L.A. resisting. And it looks like Tom Homan has accepted the invitation from Mayor Adams to have a meeting today to talk about what they're going to do once he takes office.
Right. We're not asking for a lot.
No.
We're asking for access to criminals.
That's right.
And the detainers honored.
Give ICE a chance. By the way, I thought it was a great, Robert Holden, a Democrat from Queens, said, if you want to show that, Mayor Adams, talk is great, but if you want to show that you're sincere, set up the ICE office at Rikers again. Because they closed it down because they don't want to let
He's also
those
considering, Eric Adams is also considering getting rid of the sanctuary city status.
That's right. So Tom Homan, pictured right there, is going to be meeting with the mayor of New York. It's interesting. On Monday night, Tom Homan was at an event, and he revealed, we know that the deportation plan, on a wide scale, you know what American city they're going to start in? They're going to start in Chicago.
Chicago,
he
baby.
was a guest Monday night at a holiday party for Law and Order PAC. This is one of the quotes, according to CBS in Chicago. Tom Homan said, Chicago's in trouble because your mayor sucks and your governor sucks. And so he said that it's going to start in Chicago right after the inauguration. And Homan asked the Mayor Johnson, and Governor Pritzker to come to the table and help with the biggest deportation in history. And here's the other quote. He said, if your mayor doesn't want to help, he can step aside. There's Johnson right there. But if he impedes us, Tom Homan said, if he knowingly harbors or conceals an illegal alien, I will prosecute him. So that's new. Now Tom Homan is suggesting if these people in the sanctuary city do impede the federal government, he's going to press charges.
Well, you can't harbor felons.
No!
You can't. There's already a federal statute. And that's all they're saying right now is that when we come to pick them up, they're already in custody, or they're already in a certain community. The residents are upset. Just let us just get out of the way.
Proof from the residents themselves. Listen to them speaking out against their mayor. Watch.
Mayor Brandon Johnson, you took an oath to uphold the Constitution. Or when you took an oath, was it only intended to fight for the 10th and 14th Amendments regarding illegal aliens?
We don't want illegals in our community. We don't want migrants terrorizing our own people. And to have y'all sit up here and say, we have to accept $70 million being given to them when you got black people who are already struggling and need help, it is a disgrace.
All people. And that, by the way, we could have played 12 of these.
I know.
So the people agree with Tom.
Well, and you could see in that wide shot, you could see that some people were wearing, you could see red shirts. You know what the red shirt said? Chicago flips red. So essentially, he's getting in. Let me just finish this up. So essentially, those people who are showing up are suggesting, okay, you don't listen to me, just remember, politics have consequences. And we could flip this town red, which would be rare.
I'm so glad this is their message, finally, because you've been to Chicago how many times?
I mean,
Gianno Caldwell's brother was killed there, and it's very dangerous already. The money needs to go to the residents. It doesn't need to go to the illegals.
Well, Ainsley, and when I was there a few months ago, they're showing this now. We're showing this now, but we covered this leading up to the election.
Yeah.
They have shut down schools of kids in the community. They said they didn't have any money for it. And then they reopened them.
To shut them down?
Well, they shut them down because the city said, here's the airport. They said, we don't have any money to fund this school or this community center. But then they reopened them, found the money magically for the illegals there. Y'all remember when I was in there as well? I was outside of one of the holding facilities. There's drug bags all outside of the place where they clearly have some type of illegal substance there. And the residents have been crying out for help for a long time, and the mayor is still giving a backhand.
I know. Why is the mayor
It's
doing that? He's not
crazy.
listening to the people.
But you know what's interesting is that the people he thinks he's representing, he doesn't understand. He's going by an old playbook. He thinks that if I go to the bat for inner city America or for minorities in my city, I'm going to make the hard decision against the law enforcement. But law enforcement and his people actually agree he's the impediment. So is the Denver mayor the impediment. Denver is falling apart, crushing on its own weight. Per capita, more illegals, more immigrants than even New York City. And all this mayor cares about, I'm going to fight for my people. Do you understand that your people are asking you to get out of the way?
And he once agreed. He told us in an interview that they're at their breaking point. Magically, when Donald Trump is elected, then he turns back to the same old thing. So you can't just resist because it's Trump. You got to do what your people are asking you to do.
And the Chicago people are simply saying, look, you're spending too much money on the migrants. And you know what? You know what I think the people of Chicago would like? a Department of Government Efficiency.
How long is
they
he-
need a Doge in
Do
Chicago.
you all know how long he's in office?
Well, he just
I know
got
it was like a year ago.
Guys, I'm telling you, if there's ever a time for us to clean house, it is right now with what I'm about to tell you. Thank you so much, Mr. Tracy J. Norby, with the super chat. He said, Pelosi Democrats did all this to our country. They did. When you openly let these borders open, when you prosecute, like, literally moms and families and look into them, when they were at their school board meetings opposing all the woke agenda, they 100% did it, and it 100% came from this crazy administration. Y'all show Mr. Norby some love in the chat, everybody. So now, guys, this is it. This is like the biggest breaking news today. Now, the leading report, this is a huge news outlet, said the FBI had 26 confidential sources in Washington, D.C. on January 6th in connection with the events of that day. Of those, 13 entered the restricted area on the Capitol Hill during the disturbances, and 4 entered the Capitol itself, according to the DOJ Office of the Inspector General report. They lied. They literally said, no, we didn't have anybody there. It never happened. We weren't involved. They were involved. They had them there. They instigated, and it's now that Ray is resigning. He knows. I mean, people are leaking him because they're like, what? He ain't going to fire us. We're bringing in Kash Patel, who's going to reveal all these things. Guys, today is a big day. You got Biden, who literally pardons essentially 1,500 people. You got the new passing of all these bills. It is insane, the amount of news that's coming out today. But want to say thank you to everybody that's watching. If you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button so I can serve you every day with the top news. And if you don't mind, click the thumbs up like button. It really does help to grow the channel. Guys, we've had an amazing show today. Y'all have been amazing. The chat's been amazing. Big Dog DFW gifting 30 TrueLife News memberships today. Giving the super chats. Silda Morales. Mr. Tracy J. Norby with the super chats. Guys, y'all show them some love. Faithful supporters of the channel. We couldn't do it without you guys. If you want to be a member of the channel, the link is in the description to join. We appreciate you so much. And we're going to give the biggest donation ever on this channel since we started 3 months ago in a couple of weeks live, and it's going to be amazing. I'm telling you, it's going to blow your mind how much we're going to give. God is good. And just want to say thank you to everybody, guys. We couldn't do it without you. We are here to serve you and show you all the top news every single day, Monday through Friday, twice each day, Monday through Friday, and one on Saturday and one on Sunday. And I just want to say I love you all so much, guys. Y'all are the best. I look forward to this chat every single day. Y'all are amazing. Oh, Linda Foe, first time super chatter. Let's go. Said all Democrats lie. All these people are in for a rude wake-up call. 100%. Y'all show Lynn some love in the chat. Guys, come January 20th, it is going to be a big day for this country, for this channel. We're going to be streaming live big time, and you're not going to want to miss it. Love you all. Appreciate you so much. And we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.